Hello, ladies and gentlemen out there in the land of the internet and internet land. Hello. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the NoSkill podcast. We are back once again at the campfire at the NoSkill house. You guys like it? It looks cool, doesn't it? If you don't think so, you are incorrect. Get with the times. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am your lovely host. I am DJ. We have quite a stacked cast, including a special guest, one whom we've talked about a lot. He's been in a couple recordings before. We'll get to him, but first we're starting to my left, your right. Brandon.
What's good, everybody? I am excited for this. I'll have no part in this, basically, but this will be fun.
Shut your candy ass! Oh, yeah, anyway, alluding to that one. Then next to me is Mikey.
Hey, I'm here, I'm ready, and you're gonna get involved because Stone Cold said so, and that's the fucking bottom. Oh, damn.
Shut up, bitch!
We just gave you 2 more free hints. You don't know at this point what we're about to be talking about? You're wrong. And then down the line is our special guest of the evening, Mando. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. It's good to be here. I have very, very jaded opinions on WWE, so I'm happy to give them.
We just said it. Let's go.
Let's go. Prime storytelling. We've learned nothing.
Real quick, for those that don't know, we've talked about Mando or Tom several times on podcasts, tavern talks, just straight up recordings. He's been in our recording of Cards Against Humanity. He's the one that Dirtle, for some reason, wanted to bring up clogging his toilet, and then he said he'd fuck him up. That was fun.
That was
fun fact.
Hilarious.
My toilet hasn't got clogged since I said that.
Let him know. All right. Then lastly, and certainly leastly, not really, Frazier.
Wow.
I said not really. I said JK.
All right.
It's just a prank. Lol.
Just a prank, bro.
Yeah. No, I'm just waiting. I can't wait for the chaos to ensue here. It's just because last time I watched this stuff was years ago.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the NoSkill podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about good old wrestling, brother. From the age-old attitude era of WWF to WWE, all because some panda company almost sued them, to whatever this shit is now. Maybe even touch on a little bit of AEW, but I can tell you right now, I personally don't watch AEW. I don't care. So let's kick it right out. Well, where should we start? Should we start with Superstars? Should we start with matches? Maybe even the video games that you and Mikey were playing earlier. What is your take on WWE? Mando, where did you start? Where are we?
I mean, where did I start personally watching it? I started watching it, I think I was like 4 or 5, and it was something that my sister got me into watching.
Really? The sister, the female, got you into it?
Yeah, the older sister, and that didn't help the fights between her and the older brother. Fantastic. But she grew out of it eventually, and when she did, I just stopped watching it. Fast forward 20 years, start working at a bar and meet some coworkers that are really into it, and they get me back into it, and now I watch it every single damn day, pretty much. Going back from the old Attitude Era pay-per-views to watching every Raw and SmackDown every week, and keeping up with all of the drama and soap opera that this show is.
It's amazing, and it's a fun little sickness that we've captivated ourselves onto. Well, I haven't watched it in a hot minute, but I still remember have very fond memories. So going off of fond memories, you said you started when you getting into when you were like 4 or 5. What is the earliest / fondest memory that you have? Like what was on? Who what was the match that stood out to you back in the day? Like, do you have any memories of matches or superstars that stood out to you? Maybe an entrance or entrance music?
as a kid, my personal favorite easily was Stone Cold Steve Austin, without a doubt. Growing
Solid
up,
answer. Solid answer.
that was, but like looking back on him now, like as an adult, one of my favorite wrestlers from back then would have been Kane. That guy came out and for as big of a person as he was super athletic, could still go off the top turn, off the third rope, to fly around if he really needed to. He had big feet that just came up out of nowhere. Super athletic wrestler. And one of the scariest guys you could possibly meet. And now he's the mayor in Tennessee, I think, somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that town is under his protection for life. Good for them.
Like, and it's hard to just level it down to one superstar from back in the day because also there were so many that were iconic. I know the big draws were, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Undertaker, and Kane, but there were so many more with so many different diverse personalities about them and story based lore behind them. But before we get into that one, we're gonna move down the line. Frazier,
Yeah.
how old were you when you got started into wanting to watch any sort of extreme sports such as wrestling? And give me like who was the first superstar that stood out to you earliest?
So the very first time I saw WWE, and I didn't know it was WWE at first because it was this. God, I think I was younger than Thomas when he got than that because I was living in Florida. Fuck. But I remember now at the time I realized it was Big Show and Chris Jericho competing, but I didn't know who it was. I was flipping through channels. I saw that. I thought it looked really cool, and eventually started getting games and whatnot and started playing. So I would say 2004. No, 2000, like 2000, like 2000. Actually, I think. Shit, that's when I got
That's a
in.
good era. 'Cause that was still around the Attitude Era.
Yeah, so I caught the tail end of that, but I didn't really pick it up until about high school, about 2008. So
Okay.
that was kind of the era that I had to work with. My personal favorite was Undertaker as a wrestler, just because he was that all around performer, and especially watching some of the clips now that he's retired, like he's doing, like he did like this podcast with Stone Cold actually.
Yep.
Where they were talking about matches they were doing, and it's just hearing him and other wrestlers say like he would like let them do a cool move off of him so that he was willing to bring talent up to the next level. Not like I'm already up here, I don't want anyone threatening me. It was very much I want these guys to succeed.
That's where it gets a little. Sorry.
That's what made me fall in love with him even more now. It's just like he's all around the best wrestler in and out of the ring, in my opinion.
Undertaker, Mark Calloway. He doesn't care if you call him Mark now. He's retired. He referred to himself as Mark Calloway at his retirement ceremony.
He will always be the Undertaker to me.
Be the Taker. But that's one thing I loved about Undertaker is he did understand, hey, I'm not for nothing. I'm at the top of my game. I'm top dog, but I'm not going to be able to stay here forever. I need to make sure that the new talent has a chance to come up.
Yeah, there was I can't remember who it was, but someone did they were doing it was one of the wrestlers. It was during the Rumble where one guy just comes back and just smacks Taker as hard as he can. He even said this. He accidentally hit him as hard as he could in the back. Taker just like shook it off, pretended it, exchanged a few blows, told him to kick him in the gut, and then do a I think it was like then kick him in the face type thing. And the guy was like, "What? Okay, I'm not gonna argue."
With a bunch of kicks like that sounds like fucking Shelton Benjamin or Tajiri.
I don't know. It was a young guy. It was like a really young up and comer at the time.
Okay.
I remember there was one Royal Rumble with The Undertaker. Like, there's some no-name that eliminated The Undertaker from the Royal Rumble. He just looks back in the ring at him super confused. But I think this refers to, like, what you're saying, how he would like to try to bring younger talent up. Because the dude was I don't remember who it is whatsoever. But I do remember I remember the hate that The Undertaker put on him for eliminating him. But
if I remember correctly, that was Carlito Caribbean Cool, the apple spitter, where he eliminated Taker before he was supposed to. So Taker looked back like, well, now I have to roll with it, but creative is not going to be happy with you, sir.
That's when Undertaker literally took that man into his own hands.
Yeah, quite literally. Little thing with Carlito. A lot of the times when he first got his hands on the United States Championship, and for those that remember, old heads like myself, he would like to just get, well, not disqualified, but he would just take the belt and walk out of matches because even if you are out the ring for a solid 10 count, he does not lose the belt.
Only on
Against
pin or
Creative's
submission
wishes,
does the
every time he had a
Uh,
U.S. Championship title match, he would just walk out of the match before he was supposed to. He would just walk out because he didn't want to lose the belt. And Creative was like, "We can't fire him. He's holding on to the belt. We need to find a way to make him lose." But he always finds a way to loophole it. So he was a scumbag all around. All right,
Yeah,
but
I don't think it was the same guy that I was talking about. But
oh
I
no,
do
not.
remember
I'm talking the one that
do-
Amanda was talking about.
Yeah.
no.
I remember that sounds
watching
vaguely
him walk out of
right.
matches. Yeah, I remember it gets a little too tough. Oh, time to dip.
Yep. All right, but we'll go and we'll talk about more of that stuff here in a moment. Right now, we need to move down the bench. Mikey.
Huh? Me?
Yes, earliest, fondest memory of when you first started watching wrestling. How old were you? What superstar stood out to you?
It was in the 90s, so I had to be about 5 or 6. I'm gonna blame my grandma for another weird part of my personality, and her oldest son, my uncle. They got me into wrestling at such an early age because they're both diehards. As funny as it is to say, my grandma's been following the uh, sports entertainment industry for about, oh man, 35, 40 years at this point. And
Man
by
was
the
still old
time,
back then.
huh?
Vince McMahon was still old back then.
He was.
He had a few less gray hairs.
But yeah, she's been into it since Andre, Iron Sheik, Hulkamania. She was there at the beginning of it all. So when she had the grandsons that were old enough to get into it, of course, all of us were brought in. We got the toys, we got the fake belts. We started doing Saturdays at her house for pay-per-views. Everybody would pile into it. So I probably SummerSlam 2000 was when I really got into it. Just the big pyro, the over the top cage match. And I think that was when the Hardy Boys did the TLCs where they were just battered, and I mean absolutely battered by the time it was done. Those were the days, man. I've been in and out of it ever since. Come back, leave every now and then. Mando's recently got me back into it, so that's been a lot of fun. So I'm here and I'm playing the games. I'm catching up on the shows, and I'm in for the ride, man. I'm having fun again.
All right. And then Brandon, I know you said you might not have too much of a say. I guarantee you probably do, because there has to be at least some wrestler that stood out to you, whether it be the oil on his body, the way he looks, the super move that he did, his entrance music, the way he came out to the ring, he or she. Because I know some of the female athletes, some of the female superstars, some of their entrances were fucking crazy. Like what's the man? How she would just come out at a full deadbolt sprint.
Becky Lynch. Yep.
That's it. Her theme music was fucking gnarly too.
Keep in mind, my knowledge of WWE is pretty limited to mainly one video game that I ever played, and that's it. But when it came to other stuff, it was always through either family or friends that were talking about it, especially when I got acquainted with Mikey and DJ here, especially DJ in the early days when he was still sort of in it by the time we met. I would have to say, I'm trying to think here. Probably like Rey Mysterio. It's probably the only one I know, really.
Solid choice, though. Very solid choice.
Dude, Rey Mysterio was amazing.
A goat.
Mm-hmm.
I still I still remember watching his old entrance music. I would always use his entrance music when I would play some of the video games. The old one, not Booyaka Booyaka, the one before that. Who's that jumping out the sky, D-Mac? With all the different masks that he would have. I just hit a lot of you in the feels for that. Who remember that song?
Mm-hmm.
But also, you had you like that? Watched any of Rey Mysterio's matches? Because he has some of the most iconic matches
I've seen
Mhm.
clips, especially when it comes to like YouTube and stuff. I've seen clips, but nothing like that. I've never seen a whole match or anything like that.
watch some of his ECW matches before he was with
they were
WWE.
Mm.
ECW was with is like a tier lower. They didn't have any storylines and they
was
didn't
just
care.
shit
It
on
was
each
just
other.
matches and
It
go
was
out
Fight
there
Club.
and go hard. They had barbed wire matches. They had tables. They had tables lit on fire matches. Like, and Rey Mysterio, I don't know where he got his start, but at some point he was in ECW, and he did some of the craziest high flying and going through tables that you'll see on that channel. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They effectively nerfed him when they brought him into WWE, in my opinion.
That's the I
The real
hate
life
to say it like
character
this. Like I hate to say it like this, but that's kind of what they do with all the superstars that they pull from Luchador Underground to New Japan Pro in Ohio Valley Pro Wrestling. Is they have these over the top personalities and the ability to do all this other shit, and then all of a sudden WWE goes, if you get hurt, we really don't want to pay that hospital bill. No more.
Right. Right. They have to prove that they can do the craziest things in the world beyond what their current athletes can do. And once they can do that without getting hurt, then they get nerfed into WWE.
Yeah, that's the
Pretty
standard.
much.
Hey, so go over the top and damn near kill yourself to be a part of this
Yes.
business. Hey, you made it.
That is your
Don't do that.
interview. That is your job interview. You pass and then you get told never do that shit again.
You scared mom and
Nowadays,
dad.
Yeah, nowadays
it is.
go back 20
Back in the
years ago.
day.
Go back 20 years ago. Cool. That was really great. Now do that 3 times.
In one night against 4 different people.
in the span of 10 seconds.
But yeah,
And
real
don't
quick,
forget to
real
cut
quick, real quick.
yourself. Gotta
Oh yeah,
bleed.
the bleeding. Ric Flair, I'm looking at you. You did it the most. But
Oh, he was a good leaker. Oh
very
yeah.
good. But yeah,
That
so
bleach
funny enough,
blondness.
you bring up ECW. ECW is actually where I got my start into wrestling before WWE. Before I discovered WWE, it was ECW. It was a no disqualification match between Bubba Ray Dudley and, for those who know the original High Flyers, Sabu.
Oh man.
Boo and
Throwback.
Oh yeah.
Sabu
Yeah.
was probably hands down one of the craziest motherfuckers to walk into that ring, because he would walk in with the intention of getting hurt and still getting up and saying, get over it.
I think he would go through a minimum of like 4 tables a match.
Between
that and then
going
30-foot leg drops.
30-foot
All
leg
the
drops,
barbed
going
wire
through
he
4
got thrown
tables,
into.
being power bombed onto thumbtacks, and then having a barbed wire baseball bat rubbed against his face, and then having those fluorescent light fixtures broken across his stomach, and he would still stand up and go, "It was only a 2 count, bitch. I'm here."
I mean, always the great move. You know, once he got the chair and he set it up in the ring, you know he was about to go flying over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Just run from one end and did
This man
whoever's on the other end.
This man was so good at finding. For those that don't know, it's called finding or getting a spot. Meaning, you're about to do something so crazy or over the top, it's gonna get the crowd to go, oh. And it's those moments that everybody will remember forever. I've seen several of Sabu's where he would like run up a ladder, jump off of the top rope, 30 feet below, where there's 3 guys waiting for him to land on them, and then they all go down at the same time. Or tragedy happens and he misses altogether, and he lands on the hard floor.
Yep.
Sometimes that wasn't even wood. Sometimes that was just concrete.
Straight up, especially ECW, that when they didn't have funding, everything was made together by plywood and prayers.
We can't afford pads. Put some plywood down.
Yeah.
We can't afford padding.
That was
just suck it up.
God. The ECW was a fucking mess, but it was amazing to watch.
But that's why it was called ECW. Stood for extreme.
Extreme.
And I know there's still some underground extreme wrestling, like Combat Zone is nuts. For those that know what Combat Zone wrestling is, CZW. That's where Dean Ambrose came from, the Lunatic Fringe.
TNA's pretty good still about it. People get pretty crazy out there and still break stuff. I don't see much barbed wire anymore these days, but they still do like the fluorescent lights get shattered on people's backs. Still going through tables and chairs.
It doesn't always be the standard. It's when somebody breaks out the thumbtacks and everybody's just like, "Oh wait, we're about to see some blood."
No, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but the lack of with all the matches now, just the oh, everyone else having an echo?
Not
You
really.
can hear it.
You're fine. Go.
Okay.
Continue.
Oh, sorry, I was hearing an echo. Oh fuck, where was I with that shit?
The different types of matches.
Oh, yeah, that's one thing that's I've been nitpicking with like the new WWE. There's no real like variety of matches anymore. Like we had like tables, ladders, chairs, the TLC matches, submission only matches.
Well, the problem
Like-
is because those were all like at the time innovative and creative new ideas. Now, especially in the landscape of any sort of sport, especially combat sports, there's no such thing as an original idea or a good idea because it's either A, been done before 3 different times, or B, it would be way too dangerous.
Yeah, and I think that's probably where why they don't do it anymore is the insurance factor or some shit like that, because it's just like, sure, have like tables match. Oh, this argument, the storyline, these two are feuding and it's building and building, and one of them sends them through the announcer table. Oh, your next match should be a table match. Like, that'd be interesting to see. It wouldn't have to be like every night or every weekend, but it just feels like with at least with the this like newer generation and whatnot, it just feels like it's just match and that's it. No real like variety in it. It's just how they win. It's just how they win now.
Because I tend to saving those special matches for, at this point, like pay-per-views, because that's where you're going to sell all your tickets and get all your spots.
Yeah.
So I kind of get it though. But okay, so since you bring up different types of matches, we're gonna go down the line here, because this might be a 2-parter, maybe even a 3-parter, because there's a lot to this fucking industry. Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
But starting with you down here, what is your favorite type to match to watch, and why?
Buried alive match. Enough said.
All right.
Exactly the reason why you get buried alive. That's how you lose.
Now, would you want to have a buried alive match between 2 different people where one of them isn't the Undertaker or Kane,
Yeah.
or does it have to be between one of them 2?
No. Ideally, because I think it would just be funny. Vince McMahon versus Triple H. Vince McMahon loses, gets buried. You got it.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
As much as I would pay to watch that, I think ultimately it would turn into Vince McMahon winning because he's the head of creative again, and Triple H would fire his ass.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Vince would fire his ass.
Hey, we all
Wasn't there a
someone
buried
getting
alive
fired
match
in person.
between Stone Cold and Vince at one point?
There was one between Vince and Undertaker. That's when he became Dead Man Inc. Because he lost that.
Oh, that's right.
Do you guys remember the match at WrestleMania between Umaga and Bobby Lashley? That was between Donald Trump and Vince McMahon, where they had to shave their hair.
Yeah, it was a
That was a thing.
Vince and Trump. It was Umaga versus
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley with Stone Cold Steve Austin as a special guest referee.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, Umaga, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the greatest.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. What was it? One of his sons is part of the bloodline now, I think.
Yeah.
The Usos are his kids.
Okay.
No. They're kid to Rikishi.
Yeah,
Rikishi has the Usos, and then there's Solo Sikoa, which is the younger brother of the Usos. And you got a Roman also, which I don't know where he falls from.
He's a bundle of sticks.
In Florida. What? That's just fact. I know it sounds like an insult. That's where he's from.
I mean, if
I meant like who his parents are.
The swamp people.
But I thought I swear I could have remembered seeing a clip or something like that of someone doing like the Umaga's finisher, like in a recent show,
Well, you gotta
It
remember
was like-
they'll do past superstars finishers all because as soon as you say that you are not Filipino, what are they?
Yeah, Umaga used to give people the thumb.
Filipino.
You know, he used to have Umaga's. What did he call it? What was Umaga's finisher called?
It was like the gargantuan thumb or something.
Yeah, and that's what Solo Sokoa does for his finisher also.
Yeah,
Oh,
when you're
Solo
just
Sokoa.
to keep their Samoan
Yeah.
blood alive, that's what they would just do everybody's finisher from back when. Because how many times have we seen them all do Rikishi's little butt wiggle?
I don't think he calls it the little butt wiggle.
Oh, that man's
Don't
got
think
a
it was
dump
little.
truck.
You can go take that little butt wiggle and you tell us all how it goes, all right?
Everybody's been eating ass in the last 3 years. Okay, let's go. But moving down the line. So, what is your favorite match, and what two superstars would you like to see compete in said match?
I think just based off the consistency of how much I enjoy them and watching them and playing them in the games, I love the TLC matches so
Hey, the
much.
ladders and chairs.
Absolutely. And
Created by the Dudley Bros, mastered by Matt Hardy and
the-
Shannon Moore.
the Dudley brothers are my personal favorite tag team duo to ever exist.
Understandable.
Right there.
Very good choice. Very good choice.
So any duo against those two is gonna be an entertaining match because everybody's gonna go through a table and probably there's gonna be some extras because there's always little Spike Dudley would always come out and try to help out or try to fight against them, and he always got thrown across because he was 140 pounds nothing.
Dude, he was 110 pounds, soaking wet, full stomach, and pocket filled with quarters.
Yeah, so those matches easily are my favorite, especially with the Dudleys.
Especially with the mullet and mustache, he looked like a 16-year-old trying to look like a grown man.
He even had the nerdy glasses with the tape at the center. Fantastic.
That was combat tape.
Uh-huh. It didn't last.
They tried hard though, but like especially with when you bring up Spike Dudley and then him just getting thrown around by his elder brothers, it reminds me of, even though he's not a part of they're not a part of the company anymore, but Big Cass and Enzo Amore, where Enzo didn't outright wrestle too much himself. It was just Big Cass throwing him at people. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I'm trying to think. The name sounds familiar. I'm trying to think what branch
My
was he
name
from?
is Enzo Amore. He was the shit talker from New York.
That's every New York citizen.
Yeah, that's not too
Yeah.
descriptive right
True.
there, man.
Yeah.
Moving on, for those that know who Enzo Amore is, you know who Enzo Amore is. He's not with the company anymore for good reason. But now, so with your TLC match, what do you think would be a sick TLC match? What superstars are in it? Or if you can't think of one, what TLC match would you like to sit ringside for?
Any superstars of my pick.
Yes.
Ooh,
I'll give you a fatal four-way. I'll give you a fatal four-way, so pick four.
It's definitely gonna be the Dudley boys for sure. Devon and Bubba Ray.
Okay.
And, I think I would love to watch him just beat the crap out of the Usos. I think that would be entertaining.
Now, do you want Dudley Boys when they came back in 2015, or do you want Attitude Era Dudley Boys that didn't give a fuck?
The peak Dudley boys back in the Attitude. You need to, peak Dudley boys, ECW Dudley boys, please.
Okay, so the Limp Bizkit lyric, "Give me something to break," rings a bell when it comes to those guys back then. Because if there was something under the ring, they would find a way to use it and break it. They didn't care if they get disqualified. At that point, the Dudley Boys just went, "It's time to hurt you. We're just going to throw you a beating now."
They set a table. I think they set multiple tables on fire, and then threw Spike Dudley through them back in ECW.
Remember one time there was I want to say 10 tables stacked on top of each other, and I want to say it was a very young Matt Hardy was sitting on top of it, and Devon Dudley just sent him through from top table to floor.
Yeah, it
Jesus.
was.
Yep.
Oh my god, the '90s were wild, and dude, holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, and then well, words. Way to go, DJ, and go. We'll discuss more about tag teams because there's a lot to unpack there in its own
Yep.
right. But moving down the
That's for
bench,
sure.
Mikey, favorite match and who would you like to see in it, or relive and see for the first time?
There's only one way to put it, and it's with a very imposing Hell in a Cell. And it honestly, just Hell in a Cell matches are so intense, so over the top. The huge cage, the hatches that blow open, the fact that Bobby Lashley just went through one of the walls to knock out Umaga that one time. There's
Oh,
never
yeah.
a dull moment in a Hell in a Cell. There's always something wild happening. Every time that cage drops, it is a memorable, and I mean a memorable event. Hell in the Cell delivers every time. And
Without fail.
what's up, Deej?
No, I don't want to spoil it just in case I'm about to say something. So go.
No, say it. I'm intrigued. I want to hear other people's opinions on Hell in a Cell.
Say what you
I don't want to
just-
be the only crazy person ranting about these things again.
Every time when I think Hell in a Cell, the first thing that
You're gonna
comes
say
to
Mick
mind is
Foley.
that and Shane McMahon.
Really?
Yeah, when he got pushed off of the cell and landed through the announcer table.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I don't
that was with him and Kevin Owens. That was a couple years ago, right? That's when
like
he's older.
5 years ago.
Yeah, that's when he was older. Mm-hmm.
But he was still in his fighting prime. He kept it up.
I mean,
Still dances like a weirdo though.
I mean,
I think it's just how he
age
dances.
didn't help it.
No, not at all.
tell you
Or the
that.
fake tan. Or the Botox. Sorry, I'm leveling this man. Continue.
Hold up. One more. He dances like Commander Shepard. Okay. That's it.
Hey, easy there. Easy there, guy.
I'm Commander Shepard, and I
Fight
don't know how to
words.
dance.
We can take this back on the 2K22 after this.
Why? So fucking Sheamus could beat me for you?
You kicked
Oh.
a ladder out of my hand, child.
I just
Whatever.
heard something in his house. Frick.
There's gonna be a couple RKOs coming your way later. Don't worry.
That's fine. The RKO didn't even win you the match. We both got beat.
All right.
Maybe 1v1.
Now, so Hell in a Cell, what would be your ideal Hell in a Cell match that you want to watch? Who's inside the cell? Or what Hell in a Cell match would you like to relive and rewatch for the very first time? Maybe even be in the audience.
If I could have seen Mankind versus Undertaker, the legendary one that everybody's heard of, everybody's seen, everybody's talked about, I would love to have been in that stage. For a million reasons. I could gush about that all day. But if I had to set one up with two stars, no real restrictions on them, I would love to see Roman Reigns get checked by a prime Undertaker. I think that would be an amazing, very humbling experience to the guy who never seems to shut the fuck up.
Real quick, when you say prime
Welcome to the
Undertaker,
Thunder.
is he still prime Dead Man from the 80s and 90s, or Dead Man Inc. when he would have the motorcycle?
Dead man.
All right. I don't know what it is. I honestly, I have to say, I liked him with when he was Dead Man Inc. when he was the biker, because that theme song and entrance was just gnarly.
Because it's
Dead
very your
Man
aesthetic.
Walker.
Go look at your wardrobe and look at the overlap.
I just got red
Damn.
filth.
Damn.
Yikes!
I'm just saying, like, Deej, you have a look, man, and it's not a bad thing to look like the Undertaker. I dig it. That's just me personally. If people are like, oh damn, that dude looks like the Undertaker. That's cool. It could be worse. He would look at you and be like, hey, that guy looks like Eugene. Ooh. Ooh.
That dude looks like Bozo.
The Bozo. Oh,
I'm sorry, not Bozo. Doink. The
Doink the clown.
Hey, don't you disrespect Doink now.
They brought him back in the new game.
You watch yourself.
That dude looks like Rico, for those who know who that is.
Dr. Roxo.
All right, so then down here, I know you have to know certain types of matches.
I was gonna say Hell in the Cell, but since he took that, I'm going to say what is that one where there's like a hanging suitcase of money and people had to, they're trying
Money
to get
in the bank.
There you
So
go.
ladder match, a high stakes ladder match.
Yeah, that one. I always
That
just
one can
found
hold-
the little bit that I've seen, especially when it comes to like family. Whenever I would go to like a family's house and they'd be watching that, and I just see that going down, I'm like, damn, that looks intense and painful. People are just falling from top ladders and onto their asses
Oh yeah.
from various heights, whether it be to the down back to the ring or to the fucking floor. Either way,
When Edge speared fucking Jeff Hardy off the tag
Oh,
titles.
from
That is
top
one of the most
ladder.
legendary
Yes.
ladder matches to exist.
One of the most legendary matches ever. But one thing that stuck out to me was Matt and Jeff Hardy versus Mercury and Nitro. Jeff Hardy leg drops a ladder, and then the edge of it hits Nitro on the nose, busting his shit wide open mid match, and they still had 10 minutes to go.
Jesus.
Mhm.
Yeah. He finished out a 10-minute, the better part of 10 minutes, holding his nose, trying to wrestle with one hand, and then having to roll outside the ring just to make sure he didn't pass out from blood loss. Some of these guys put it all on the line, like just for the term entertainment. It's so crazy what these guys are willing to do.
Oh yeah, it was. They very much had the mentality of we don't stop until that bell rings.
One of us might die, but my brother in Christ, you serve
Sacrifice
well.
we're ready to make. Well, that's cool.
Wakanda forever. See, mine is going to be a little bit of a cop-out answer because you guys gave all fantastic answers.
Mm-hmm.
I would want to bring back the bra and panties match. Just going to say it.
Okay, yeah, I completely forgot about that one.
That also fits your wardrobe.
Not my wardrobe. It's who like my
Look down.
currently.
You're not talking about VR chat, are you?
I am.
But no, I would want to bring back the bra and panties match just because it was a different wave of like, well, it was empowering for women because now it's like, hey, we can hang out in this men's sport. I think that's what's like set the tone for women in WWE now because now they don't have to do bra and panties matches to prove that they're impressive. It's we could kick ass. Some of us are better than the men. But of the bra and panties match, I want to relive and rewatch not Trish Stratus, Tori Wilson versus Sable.
Okay.
Yeah. I had the biggest crush on Sable, even though at the time she was already in her 40s, and that's when I knew I liked MILFs. Ladies.
It's so reminiscent of the conversation we had before recording. I got him.
yeah.
Cheers to you, DJ.
Cheers. Okay. So this is where we're gonna hot fire. Well, actually, it doesn't have to be a hot fire. We can still have a discussion about it. So as those of you know, wrestling has been around for a while, a quite long while, and I want two answers. I want two answers. Okay, and so of these two answers, what wrestler who is retired would you want to see make a comeback, even if it's just for one last match? And rest in peace to all of them. But what wrestler who is passed would you want to have come back for one last hoorah? We'll start down here with you.
Yeah, I was gonna just cut in here. How about we leave those answers for after the ad?
The tease. After an ad read?
Yeah, after an ad read, folks.
Don't tease them like that.
I'm teasing.
Bye.
It's appropriate. I need time to think.
Whew. Well, that was fun. Oh. Hey, gamer. Still can't clutch up in Warzone? Still no victory royales? Still maidenless? It's time to change how you play, son. Drink Dubby, the delicious gaming energy supplement that'll help you achieve that epic play of the game. Now head on over to w.gg and use our code NSE for 10% off your total order. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Hello! Hello again. I see you there. Welcome back. Hi, did you enjoy what you saw? Thank you, W, once again for hanging out with us. You are gorgeous. You are handsome, and your breath smells lovely and minty. As the ad said, use code NSE at checkout for 10% off your total order. Be cool. So, welcome back to the podcast. As we were talking about WWE, it's had a long, glorious, almost filthy legacy because there were some gray areas in WWE. There's been some golden areas, more golden than gray. And as I mentioned, superstars that have retired, superstars that have passed on, they're no longer with us. And I want to get the fellas' opinions on whom retired would you want to see come back for one more match? Whom deceased would you want to see come back for one more match? If you guys need a moment to think, I will start because I have two in mind already. For a retired superstar that I would want to see come back, I would want to see Scotty 2 Hotty back in the ring one more time.
Bring back the Too Cool era.
Too Cool for school, dude. Those guys were awesome. Scotty 2 Hotty at the time was one of my favorite wrestlers because I never thought that tag team duo would work out. Big Chungus and Skinny.
Yeah.
Big Chungus and Skinny. But all of a sudden, when I just see this man doing the worm, all to just 5-star smack somebody on the chest with his bare hand. And he was so animated with it. His energy was unparalleled. And then when he retired, I think he's a firefighter where he lives now.
I wish. I hope so.
But I would love to see Scotty 2 Hotty come back for one more match. If he still has it in the tank, I think that'd be lit. Deceased,
getting pulled out of a burning building, and you're like, "Are you Scotty 2 Hotty? Did I die in that fire?" I don't go by that name anymore. But
did he set the fire?
Granted, the name Scotty 2 Hotty still fits the bill of being a firefighter since he's going into hot situations.
He pulls someone out. Oh my god, you look great with a mustache. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I'm a little unhinged today.
It's all good. It's WWE. WWE is unhinged. There's still the talk of going through the entire Attitude Era, and we're not going to be able to get to that tonight, I don't think. That's why I said this is going to be a couple-parter. But for a deceased superstar, I think this one should be really obvious, at least to me. I would want to see Eddie Guerrero one more time.
Man, you pulling at my heart.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero still is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I loved his charisma. I loved his energy. I loved how he got along with essentially every single superstar, whether he was supposed to have a heel spot, a face spot, have a rivalry with somebody. When he passed, they all came forward to pay their respect for him. So, like, the primary for me was when it was him and Chavo Guerrero, and they would come out on that lowrider, and you would hear the Viva la Raza, and it's like, okay, hold on, it's time to dance real quick. Wait a minute. I loved those two as a duo. One of my fondest Eddie Guerrero memories was just so we can get closer to Chavo to tag in. He untied the ring string that you have to hold on to if you're going to be moving, and then he started sliding it along the top rope, and he's just like, the ref doesn't see me. The ref was just like, you need to be in the corner. I'm holding the string. Back to the corner. I'm holding the string. He was so funny in the way he would cheat to win.
I cheat, I steal.
Anybody remember when I think he was facing Edge? He picked up a chair because the ref was knocked down. He hit the ground with the chair, tossed it to Edge, and then fell to the ground.
He
As the
did that to
record.
Edge, Matt Hardy, and RVD. They all got a piece of it. Dude, this shit was so good, and he sold the hell out of it.
Sold the hell out of it, dude. So I miss Eddie Guerrero. He's always going to be one of my favorites. And if I could use a time machine to go back in time to see him one more time, that would be it. To just relive just to relive that match or any of those matches. Because again, Eddie's an icon. He is a fucking icon.
Yo, Deej. If I could add on to that, don't you think it would be absolutely astounding to see Eddie work the crowd in 2023? That guy was just so good at getting people hyped, getting them involved, just tearing the roof off of the place. I don't think we have anyone quite as good these days. I know there's some people who are still like in it, but he was
Not
the
to his
GOAT.
level.
No, not even close.
Oh, the only one that comes close is Stone Cold when he wants to come out during pay-per-views, because then he can get a what chant going, and it can last for 20 years. I had a beer. What? I had another beer. What?
What?
All right, so hopefully I've given you guys enough time to think. We're gonna start down here with you, like I said. Retired wrestler and a not here with us anymore wrestler. Who would you want to see one time?
I don't know many at all, or if any. So I'm just gonna throw out the one retired wrestler I know is Undertaker, and then the one deceased one I know is Andre the Giant.
That's a good answer.
Solid
That's
answer.
still a good answer.
All good answers, nonetheless.
Andre the Giant managed to make a career barely being able to speak English. So did
When a giant talks, you listen. Don't matter if you know the language or not.
Guys,
man who-
What do you
is
say?
talking
I
to
don't
me.
know.
I swear that well, it wasn't an expose. They interviewed him because he got a world record for most beer consumed. He was just drinking 12-ounce cans of beer, and I think he capped at like 100 plus.
Yeah, he did.
And they showed the comparison of what a 12-ounce can of beer looked in his fucking meat cleaver palms. And I saw the picture. I'm like, oh,
they were shot glasses.
God,
It's a
They were
great
shot
picture.
glasses.
If you haven't seen it, look up Andre the Giant holding beer can. It's beautiful.
And if you are a man that feels emasculated easily, don't.
Live a little. He was a living wonder.
I know.
See it. Do yourself the favor. Grow as a person.
Maybe not literally, though.
Well, I think they're hoping for literal.
Exactly. I know. But when you wish upon a star. All right. But also very solid answer, especially with Undertaker. Everybody would love to see the Undertaker come back. Hell, I want to see the Undertaker come back, and he just recently left.
Undertaker wants to come back.
Yeah, there was that spot where he came out on the motorcycle again, and I was like, Dead Man Inc. is making a comeback?
Yeah.
Okay, don't pull a Tom Brady. I'm healthier than I've ever been. 1 year later.
Nah, that was just for the 30 years of Monday Night Raw.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I think it was that they told him that like he can't compete anymore because
They brought out a lot
he
of
goes
people
into
for
it.
that.
Yeah, if he physically doesn't, he's gonna get hurt bad.
Well, just like TNA and AEW, we'll take your retirees and injuries because you don't want them anymore. Hence why Ric Flair, Jeff Jarrett, Sting, they all went to TNA. Oh, did I hurt some feelings? Am I wrong?
Nope.
A little bit.
You're not wrong at all.
I like
Don't like that
Sting.
shit.
So do I,
Don't like
dude.
that shit, so.
And technically, he was only a part of WWE for one match. Technically.
And move along.
But also, those are some really solid picks. Now we're gonna move down here to you, Big Mean and Green.
Oh,
retired
me?
wrestler and dead wrestler. Who would you want to see for one last two Raw?
I know he's gonna do something because he never stops, but man, I'm a sucker for Stone Cold Steve Austin, man. Just the charisma, the crazy antics, the ability to still sell moves well into his senior years. The guy's got it. He just is a complete package of a and this may be the wrong term, but he is an anti-hero. He shuts people down when they need to be checked. He'll just stunner a random person because he's chaotic stupid like that. He just does the job every single time. And I want to see him do it again.
You know, going back through all the old pay-per-views, he really was the one. You know,
Who else
man.
brought out a beer truck and hosed down Vince McMahon?
Just
look,
about
this
to
guy
say that.
had
Into the stadium.
this guy is the gangster. He had the best job in the world. He got to beat up his boss in front of thousands of people for a career, and then get drunk on the job and just go home.
He's the
This
one that
man
shaved
was
Vince's
the
head.
ultimate gangster.
He
Yep.
blew up RVs. He stunnered Donald Trump. He filled a limo with concrete. The guy just did it all, man. He
And nobody
just
could
did it
stop him.
all.
He sang Margaritaville in the ring with The Rock.
He beat up Booker T at a gas station.
And then
He
proceeded to beat up
he
Booker T inside a
slammed
grocery
Vince
store.
McMahon's head with a bedpan in a hospital.
I forgot.
He shoved a catheter up Vince McMahon's ass.
Yeah. Oh man, he really was just the one. And I think I remember in an article, Vince McMahon could be quote like, or somebody said something like Vince McMahon was saying something like, the Stone Cold and him have a love-hate relationship. He loves Stone Cold, but Stone Cold hates him.
But that's what made it even more fitting to have Vince McMahon induct him into the Hall of Fame, because he was the one that he's had the longest standing beef with.
Oh my god!
And those two fighting each other, or morally, Stone Cold beating his ass.
Yeah.
You good, sir?
To keep going, don't move.
They're
More
just
than
the
Stone Cold
adult
beating
version of
his
Tom
ass.
and Jerry.
That's essentially it, dude. But
Yeah, that's really.
But it was fun to watch.
You're never
Like-
gonna unsee that.
Like, think about it. This guy literally got to stunner his boss and then just get down on the ground, get in his face, yell obscenities at him, and then walk out the ring drinking beers. Like, who gets to
And-
do that? Who's ever
Drinking
gotten
beers
to do
and
that?
off
he got
That
paid
really
for
is the
that,
American
too.
dream.
Yeah,
drinking beers and flipping off everybody.
exactly. And everybody would just go along with it, cheer, love him, and that was it. It didn't matter if you were a good guy or a bad guy, like Mikey said. He really is the anti-hero that everybody just fell in love with for no
Mhm.
reason. He is the one.
He is the Texas rattlesnake.
Yeah.
He basically mid-max strength and charisma, because everybody
And-
fucking loved him.
Yeah,
And
some
he
people
would
don't
just
have
whoop ass.
stamina.
Does that make him a paladin?
If a paladin had a drinking
Chaotic
problem,
paladin.
I mean, Stone Cold 316. He's a paladin. That's all I'm saying.
He's
Like I
got
said,
his own
if a
verse
paladin-
that counts.
if a paladin had a drinking problem and really hated his boss,
Don't most paladins have a drinking problem and really hate their boss?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there we
Just be a
go.
rogue.
Just be a rogue.
Okay. So now, dead.
There's
And again,
there's
I don't
so
want to
many-
sound disrespectful when I just refer to them as dead. I wish them all to rest easy and rest in peace, but they are dead.
You know, man, out of everybody, I gotta say, I gotta agree with you on Eddie Guerrero. He had a huge impact on my childhood. I was raised in lowrider culture. I knew the people, I knew the aesthetic, I knew the music, I knew the look. It was so cool to see this character who was larger than life go out and absolutely slay the crowd. He set up the craziest gimmicks and bits where he was stealing other wrestlers' lunches, and then Batista ate his one time to get back at him. And then where he had Kurt Angle try to steal his car, and the airbag blew a bag of flour into his face and just blinded him on national television. What was the other? And they had the craziest storylines because, as talented as he is, where him and Rey Mysterio could do the greatest Halloween match of all time, then they said, "Hey guys, let's go balls to the walls and do a custody for Dominic fucking match." And I'm pretty sure that's why Dominic Mysterio is all fucked up now, because he was just raised in this circuit.
Dude, look who his leader is. His leader is Chris Motionless.
Don't blame any of them for that. He's just a little bitch. We don't need to even talk about him. We don't
I'm
even
just
need to
saying.
mention him on this channel. Don't worry
I'm
about
just
that.
saying, both of his parents are wacky. He's clearly got looking up to people issues, so he went and found the biggest and scariest dude he could find, Rhea Ripley.
He gets cucked like every single fucking night. But dude, it's like I 100% agree with you. One of the fondest things for his pranks was the X-Lax burrito that he gave to Big Show, and then Big Show had to leave a match mid-match. Shit. And he's shit talking him, no pun intended. He's shit talking him outside the bathroom stall door. Just like, yes, this is why you don't mess with me. This is what happens. Big Show starts tearing the bathroom stall door off of its hinge just so we can see him. And then he just goes, oh, sits back down, and he just laughs it off and walks away. Eddie was the fucking man, dude.
He was
you
the
would never
goat,
see
man.
this nowadays. This is what I miss.
Never.
It's just these silly pranks. This is what made me love WWE.
Dude,
The worst
Eddie
part
Guerrero,
is any of the new day could pull off lighthearted pranks like that, but they just don't. They just don't.
nah, especially Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods, I can see actually the picture getting into some shit.
Yeah.
But Eddie Guerrero is the best way I can describe him. Eddie Guerrero is the Mexican version of Loki. He is
pretty
just
much
here to do pranks, and then if it works, it works. And if I had to cheat to get to the top, orale, let's get it.
Hey, nobody saw it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I didn't get
It's
caught.
illegal if you don't get caught.
Yeah, so that big ups to Eddie Guerrero. I miss Eddie Guerrero. I think Eddie Guerrero's the GOAT. And dude, Eddie Guerrero's always a solid pick. Hence why Rey Mysterio for the longest time, I don't know if he still does, he would always still wear EG sweatbands on his arms.
Mm-hmm. They were really good friends, and they had a massive amount of chemistry when they were working together. So there's still a lot of respect there, and it wasn't just in the industry. So many people growing up following WWE in the day looked up to him. Because I remember over the years in school, whenever we had to do reports on like characters or people in history that aren't with us that we could learn something from, maybe not stuff in history books. We always got weird assignments like that. A lot of the kids in my class would be doing stuff on Eddie Guerrero because it was that much of an impact on our lives. And it was just the wildest thing to see in a entertainment business that these characters and people behind them translated over so well to the people in the world.
And then
Sorry,
after he passed, all we had left was Vicky Guerrero dick riding Dolph Ziggler.
Dick riding Dolph Ziggler. What a sentence.
I forgot about all that noise.
Yeah.
DJ, just this is my
voice. Vicky Guerrero gets with Edge too.
Anything to keep her from being fired, because then she got with Edge, Dolph Ziggler, John Laurinaitis. I was like, not John Laurinaitis. Okay. Moving on. Yeah.
I'm so glad you made that wholesome moment terrible.
I know.
I had to take it off of Eddie Guerrero, dick cheese.
But always and forever, remember Eddie Guerrero. I still think about you to this day, dude. You're still in my top 5. Hands down. Big ups to you. Rest easy, rest in peace, King, rest in power. Now, Tom, over to you. Dead? Retired? Or is he just dead tired?
For wrestlers that have passed on, you guys did say Eddie Guerrero and Andres. Those are 2 real good picks. I'm going to say I would have liked to have seen Scott Hall back when he was as Razor Ramon.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm living the good life.
His death anniversary
Only
was
one
4 days ago.
WWF rocking machismo. That guy had his own version of charisma about him that everybody just loved.
Oh, yeah. He was the hot jackass. Spray tanned. The dude was chiseled to shit. The hair was always perfect. The toothpick in the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
That man will walk out to the ring and he will look at the ring like, this is my home. This is my office. This is my territory. I mean business. It's time to work.
Uzi Machismo, not Rocky Machismo. I got my shit mixed up.
Plus, he had honestly one of the coolest signature moves where he just like spread eagle some dude behind him, who completely dead weight, holding him up just to throw him over his head. There was no assistance.
There's a couple of wrestlers that still do that move to this day.
Dude, super moves are going to be used and abused and turned into just regular casual moves. Hence why I hate the fact that the sweet chin music is just now a super kick. Thank you, Usos.
Oh,
Thank you,
it's
Dolph.
only sweet chin music if you tune up the band first.
It's the preparation and the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Okay, so
for retirees, actually speaking of it, I would love to get the chance to see Shawn Michaels get to perform.
isn't he supposed to be coming back again?
Not that I'm aware of. I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, I could have sworn I saw something like DX was about to reunite for something.
Yeah,
No
they did
way.
a little show bit on when they did the 30 years of Raw. They had DX come out, but except without the badass Billy Gunn because he's an AEW, and instead Kurt Angle came out with them. Let's see here. They had, and
Well,
that's
you
when
said
the Undertaker
badass Billy
came
here?
out. No, the badass Billy Gunn.
Oh, badass Billy Gunn and Jesse James and
right.
X-Pac.
Yeah, or badass. So X-Pac came out, Triple H came out, badass Billy Gunn came out, and Kurt Angle came out. They were doing their whole intro and stuff. So that's what they were doing for DX on Raw, and it was just for the Monday night 30 years reunion thing.
Oh,
And Shawn Michaels came out. That's right. And Shawn Michaels came out. But on point, I could see one person perform in their prime, getting to see Shawn Michaels in his prime, just against anybody, would be a treat.
Shawn Michaels is another character that he just knew how to work the crowd. Like, even though he could be a super heel, people still loved him.
I think there is one bit where it was backstage between him and Triple H, and it's one of my favorite ones that makes me laugh. And they're arguing that they're not enough of being a degenerate or something like that. And just out of nowhere, Shawn Michaels turns to some random guy. Hey, what's your name? Ted. And he just sweet chin music's Ted out of nowhere. He's like, see, I just knocked out Ted. And he just like goes down the hallway and he kicks another dude out of nowhere, keeps going down the hallway, kicks a dude in the face, knocking all of his papers out of his hand, just goes down and then
like 6 people.
yeah, and then camera just pans back to Triple H and he's just laughing.
I don't know if that's controversial, but it sure is
And
funny.
that's one of those moments where he's obviously in the wrong, but everybody loves it, and we all laugh and smile, even though he's in the wrong. You know,
Oh, yeah.
he just has that charisma.
Because it was just that goofy shenanigans.
Yeah, he just kicks so many people in the mouth for no reason, without hesitation, right? And it just goes back to Triple H, and he's just laughing about it, just standing there, like, what the hell?
Dude, and the thing before they did this spot, they basically pulled 6 people aside and said, "Hey, so Shawnee here, he's about to kick you in your mouth. We need you to pretend to fall real quick."
Who wants
I
to work
bet half
with
their
Tom?
right. Oh God! I bet half.
Who
their
wants to
writing
make
for their
$50
segments
real quick?
was
$50. Cash in hand.
So especially since he was just a sex symbol, it was, "Hey, who wants to be touched by Shawn Michaels?"
Yes. It's going to be the bottom of his foot. Yes. Where's that foot going? To your mouth.
Don't care.
Yeah.
I'll kiss it.
Can I suck his nose?
You're gonna be put to sleep. Okay.
That's my best night's sleep ever.
You're gonna wake up in the hospital. All right.
We've got medical.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels is a solid choice, and again, that's a very solid memory. That's one of my fondest memories of DX is just him on-sighting 6 people back to back to back. I just kicked Ted in the head.
See, I just kicked Ted. It gets me every time.
I have another spot for Shawn Michaels, but we'll touch into that later. So moving down the line, you, sir. Dead and retired.
Okay, so retired. Actually, I want to see Batista perform again.
Ooh,
Good choice. Good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because here's the thing. My thing is he is one of those very. I thought like when he said he was going to go do movies, I knew he was going to do pretty well. Because when I watched him in WWE, he was the perfect face. He was that guy that you're like, yes, he's going to win. We want him to win. But then when he turned heel, you're like, oh, go fuck yourself. No, get the fuck out of here. Go, leave. No, I don't want to see you. You're bad. Like, he was very good at portraying the good guy and bad guy. And I would just love to, like, when they had the match with Rey Mysterio, when he turned on Rey Mysterio and for the, I think it was the heavyweight title.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how quickly he went from, like, the best friend to the, like, arch enemy was just flawless. And then he could then just, Batista bombing people left and right.
Well, because he was just he was just a genetic freak. Like, the guy was just strong. Hence why he was the token muscle when he was a part of Evolution.
Mm-hmm.
That man was just like, all right, boss said to kick your ass. All right, looks like you're going up and coming back down.
Yep.
Yeah, so Batista's definitely a great match. So when I think it was he won the Royal Rumble, and then Triple H just immediately assumed, fuck.
The fuck was that?
Triple H immediately assumed, yeah, you're going to go for the SmackDown title. You're going to go for the WWE title. You're not going for the Raw. You're not going for World Heavyweight Championship. He snaps the SmackDown clipboard in half and then aggressively signs the Raw and gets into Triple H's face. And I'm like, oh, your long blonde hair won't save you now, bitch. I can say that because I'm in my home and not in front of you.
We'll give this to Batista and Triple H. They knew how to make a moment extra intense.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they did.
Oh, yeah.
That was one. Batista was very good. He also my favorite match with him was actually with Undertaker for the title when Undertaker won the Royal Rumble, the WrestleMania match that followed.
Yeah.
The whole thing leading up to it was phenomenal. The match itself was amazing, and then just the fallout matches and whatnot afterwards were perfect.
Oh. Yeah, dude, like Batista was fucking excellent, and honestly, especially during the Evolution era, even though he is still hands down a fantastic superstar, but I think he could have been used so much more if they either gave him more exposure in Evolution or had him leave Evolution sooner.
Fair.
Put your finger down.
I have a question. Okay. Y'all can roast me alive if you want to, but pro wrestling's got a past of doing celebrity spots where they'll have either characters or an actual celebrity show up. How funny would it be if Drax the Destroyer ran into the ring, just full sprint to Hooked on a Feeling, and just started dropping elbows on somebody?
Well, they brought Street Fighter into the Royal Rumble, so I don't see why not.
Exactly. We're halfway there. We should just send it. It's like, wow. Just see Batista.
Just imagine everyone being confused as hell. Just like, wait, what? Who is this?
I wanted to say that might just be a little too corny, but then this is the same company that did, we're going to make Darren Young great again.
No, this is the same company that had Sting saved by RoboCop from the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. That happened. You could Google that. That existed.
This is the same company that said, yep, Eugene is a great idea.
And the Spirit Squad? Oh my God. Who promoted the Spirit Squad?
Christ. That's where Dolph Ziggler got his start in WWE, I believe.
And Dolph Ziggler and wasn't it Ted DiBiase's kid?
I don't remember anybody else from the Spirit Squad. They're fucking useless.
I remember them getting booed out of existence.
Didn't DX ship them off to unknown whereabouts?
Yes.
They put them in a shipping container and said, done.
Group.
This is actually... Oh, wait, hold on. So you gave us your...
retiree, and...
Because I have a good segue when we're done with your dead.
Okay, so I kind of want to do two for the dead because they're a tag team. The Road Warriors.
Hawk and Animal.
Oh.
Ah!
Wow.
I never got to see them on TV, obviously, shit like that. But I've watched a bunch of their old stuff, and holy crap, I want to see them live if I could.
Fair. Legends.
The
Absolute
lights,
legends.
the armor, the face paint, the mohawk.
Yeah,
the
they
dual
were
mohawk.
committed to the bit.
Oh my god, that's dude. Actually, I would not mind seeing them too because I've watched a lot of their matches from the past on like the WWE Network.
Yeah,
But
same.
I'm like, dude, wrestling back in the day compared to wrestling now. If you were to show wrestling from like the '80s to somebody who's used to just new age wrestling, they would think it's boring. It's like, no, you got to understand. These two paved the way for your Matt Hardys and your Dudley Boys. Okay, it was these two.
They were in the Wild West. You're in the civilized society now.
We live in a society. Return to monkey. But yeah, that's actually fantastic. And again, this is actually a great segue that you brought up tag teams. I was about to ask because we mentioned Spirit Squad. Who are some of the most memorable or hated tag teams, factions, groups of people throughout the years? From the earliest days of wrestling, you can remember from the likes of the Brood to DX to the Hardy Boys, whether it be Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy or Matt Hardy and Shannon Moore. Who is a tag team or a group that you were very keen on?
Okay, we start with me, or
We're gonna start with you because I'm pretty sure. Not, I love you, but I'm pretty sure you don't know what I'm talking about.
I do not know any. Don't look at me.
okay,
All right.
okay,
His answer is just DX.
yeah. So
Good choice.
Solid
I
pick.
got to think of this because I have a group and I sort of have a tag team.
All right, dude.
So group, because again, I didn't really get to grow up with like Evolution and whatnot. I got to watch it on the the WWE Network and stuff like that. Like, really got to see it for the first time there. I would probably say the Shield. Honestly, like that was like one of the groups that I watched.
Shield or
Hey, they got a good theme song. All right.
No, the ones that came in and fucked everybody's day up.
Because there was a Shield that were good guys, but they were the bodyguard for Triple H and all them, or
no.
Shield after they broke away from Triple H.
When they broke
Because
away,
Shield
from
when they were assholes were badass.
Yeah, that's what I liked. It was just them going in. It felt very much they were trying to take some lessons from DX, where they just start fucking everything up around them.
It was hard to take it seriously at first because when they were going to go jump somebody, especially when it was Daniel Bryan, they're in the audience, they're coming down the stairs, and then Daniel Bryan's just kind of standing there. Maybe this is just my inner ethnic black guy speaking, but I'm just sitting there yelling at my TV. Get out the ring, stupid! They're coming.
No, I did the same thing.
Don't be in there anymore, please.
You could just fucking leave.
Don't be in the ring. They're coming to hurt you.
But tag team would be the Hardy Boys. Oh.
Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, or Matt Hardy and Shannon Moore?
Jeff Hardy. Jeff
Hardy is a good pick. Very good pick. That's the man. That's the myth right there.
Dude, I loved watching him wrestle.
The man is just, I don't want to say crazy because he is, but he was another classic case of, I don't care if I get hurt.
There was a few. I think a match with Sting. This I think was on. It was on TNA, I think, where they basically told Sting to end the match early because he showed up like
drunk.
Yeah, drunk or high or something.
Yep.
But he was still like, I can wrestle. I'm like, holy shit. Okay, that would be chaos. But then you see like I said, the matches where he gets speared by Edge off the top of the fucking ladder while he's dangling. What is it, like 15, 20 feet up in the air from the title belts?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
the ladders are 15 feet plus the distance to the title.
Yeah,
then
so
there
it's like
was
20 feet.
Then there's the match they did with
but he hit the ground like a wet fish, man.
What?
He got bodied.
He did the
Oh.
bodying and hurt himself. He killed himself in that moment too. Boinker. Oh.
No, but then there was the match. I think it was against Shane McMahon, where he laid Shane down on it was foam staging, but then he climbed up the entranceway scaffolding to where he's like 40 feet up. He just looks out at the audience. They swanton bombs him through all that shit.
Yeah, because I think that the premise for that match was that they were trying to like cancel his contract, and he kept having matches to keep it alive, keep it going. I think it was like you lose, you get fired type thing.
Yep, you lose, you quit.
Yeah, and it was like they were like, "Oh, we're bringing out the Shane too. He's the boss's son, so he's gonna throw because he doesn't want to get fired either way."
Nope.
But Jeff's just like, "Nope, fucking send it. Let's do it."
And with what he was willing to risk and do for the company, that's what made them go, okay, we need to keep signing this man, even if only temporarily, because he is moving tickets.
He brings
Our Jeff Hardy shirts are
crowd.
flying. That's why he called himself the Enigma. That's a fancy way of saying I'm a fucking weirdo, and you're gonna like it. And they did. Okay.
Yeah, that's mine.
And so then now, down the bench, a tag team, a faction, one of each. Mando, who are you a fan of?
I love factions and tag teams. This is difficult. So I would say, it goes back to the ECW days again. One of my favorite factions, just because of how entertaining they were, that would be all of Dudleyville, which means you got Bubba Ray Dudley, Devon Dudley, Spike Dudley, Sign Guy Dudley, Dudley Dudley, and then Big Dick Dudley.
What the fuck?
I forgot about the last one.
But for some reason, Big Dick Dudley was always on crutches. I don't know.
He's got a big
Partner
dick.
on the big dick
Yeah,
is.
he
He needs extra support.
I guess. But they know, obviously, only 3 of those guys made it to WWF, but as a whole group, they were pretty entertaining to watch on ECW, on all those old pay-per-views.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Right,
man.
And then a tag team that you're most fond of, like what is the most iconic tag team to you, or is it just Dudley Boys? Because I know you said Dudley Boys earlier.
I'll stick away from them, you know. I'm actually going to bring it to a modern day group that I'm quite the fan of. They're called the Street Profits. So, it's a modern day group. They're currently on Raw and SmackDown. They got a guy Montez Ford, who can probably get the frog splash higher than Eddie Guerrero did.
And he's hilarious.
And he is hilarious. And another guy, Angelo Dawkins. And their whole thing is that when they come out, they tell everybody they want the smoke the whole time.
All right.
And they're crowd pleasers. They come out with red Solo cups. Usually they're wearing sports attire, like based attire with colors to whatever sports team is in the city or town they're in. You know, so if they're in let's say in what's this fucking sports team? Los Angeles. If they're in Los Angeles, they come out wearing Lakers colors. If they're in Green Bay, they come out wearing Green Bay Packers colors. You know, they usually wear sports colors to the town they're in, which is pretty cool. So they're very much a crowd favorite and good at pleasing the crowd. And over the past year, their athletic ability has skyrocketed through the roof, and they've gotten really good. Like the last Elimination Chamber, one of the guys climbed to the very top of it and just dropped on top of 4 dudes. It was a wild moment to see.
Dude, even something simple as what they're wearing, it's a shitty comparison because it was a B-Tech team, but Heath Slater and the rest of the 3-man band would do the exact same shit, but instead of dressing up for the home team favorite, it would be the home team's rivals. So, like when they were performing in England, they were all wearing USA tracksuits, and then. And then when they were performing in a college town in Ohio, they came out wearing Michigan attire just to piss off the crowd.
I'll do it.
It sounds
Hell
exhausting to be
yes.
that spiteful.
that is
Pretty easy, actually. It's a Google search.
that is chaotic evil right there.
This FBI guy's just like, why does he keep typing up? What team does this team hate? What is he doing? But Street Profits, I think I've seen a couple of their matches when they were in NXT, back when I was still watching NXT.
I
But,
never saw them in NXT, so I've always they've been really good on. They were tag team champions on Monday Night Raw for a while at some point.
Before the Bloodline took him.
Yeah, I think before all that whoop-de-wop happened.
If you guys haven't noticed, we're avoiding talking about the Bloodline because there's a lot that can be said about the Bloodline, and a lot of it is not good.
I mean, we could say the few good things there might be to be said.
Sami Zayn is a hero.
He is
Sami
taking
Zayn
a
was-
lot of
Sami
abuse for
Zayn
this
was
fucking
right.
storyline.
Sami Zayn was
It was right.
Okay, so then before we get
Look at
sidetracked
those,
about the
another
Bloodline,
Brazil
because
team. There you go.
we can sit here for 45 extra minutes talking about the Bloodline and the long, illustrious career of Roman Reigns. Mike, hey, a tag team, a faction. Who are you fond of? What are we looking at here?
I got two opposite ends of the spectrum right now, and I'm grinning ear to ear. We're gonna start with the tag team because Too Cool was only like 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
They did tag teams.
Yeah.
They did the 3 persons, and there's nothing quite as satisfying as the look on somebody's face when a pretty normal sized guy tags out and Rikishi just steps into the ring and starts mean mugging the shit out of whoever the hell is in that corner. Everyone stops and the whole crowd just, oh, dude, it was, oh man, the showmanship, the goofy times, the serious times, putting people through the ring, just going off the chains, doing the worm, slamming people.
Yeah, don't forget
when-
the worm, man. Come on.
Or when they were in the Royal Rumble together, and it was just the 3 of them, and they did a full ass dance routine before Rikishi just throws the boys out with one hand each. Dude, those guys had such good moments over the years. They were entertaining as hell. They kept it mostly lighthearted, and when they did step up to be serious, man, they had some really good matches.
Very good matches.
Oh, and then I think there was one time they had Rikishi in a Thanksgiving pie eating contest. That was odd. But other than that, it was mostly great times.
Yeah, Team Too Cool was just different because they were all fantastic wrestlers, and Rikishi next to Yokozuna was one of the few wrestlers that said, "Hey, I'm big and I can do it."
Oh yeah, definitely paved the way for big guys today because some of these fools are doing crazy shit.
Absolutely nuts shit. But that's actually a very good choice. And that's your tag team, or is that your faction?
That's my tag team. That's only 3 people. I wouldn't really call that a faction. Faction's usually a good size group.
Yeah, that's
not
why I'm
the
struggling to
Spirit
find. That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm kind of struggling to find a faction in my head that's more than 3 people.
Oh well, let me see if I can give you some inspiration here because my first one was very lighthearted and entertaining and kind of family friendly, except for maybe the butt drop.
I was very.
The next one pulled no punches, talked mad shit, and was the epitome of utter disrespect most of the time. I'm talking about the motherfucking star-studded Wolfpack. No regrets, no remorse, just shitting on people's day left and right.
Oh yeah. The Wolfpack.
You refresh my drink. Who was a part of the Wolfpack?
Wait, what?
Refresh my drink. Who was a part of the Wolfpack, though?
Had Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash. They came over from NWO, or this is when WWF would have bought, or WWE would have bought NWO.
This is during the Monday Night Wars when it was like WCW Nitro, and then
that's what it was.
Saturday
They
Night
bought
Velocity.
They bought Nitro, or somehow Vince thought he bought Nitro. They had that whole scheme where Shane McMahon came on the monitor. He's like, "I now own Nitro," right? And Vince was like, "Oh my god, he stole it from me somehow."
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it's like I planned the
Monday
whole thing.
Night Wars.
Yeah, so that's a solid pick, Mikey, for a faction. I think I'm missing one or two people. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash.
They had
Hulk
Sting
Hogan.
for not a long time, for a short window of time. And did you
Kevin
say
Nash, Hulk
Macho
Hogan,
Man?
Sting.
Because he was on there as well.
I did not say
Yeah,
Macho Man.
Macho Man
My
Randy
bad.
Savage was on there for a brief minute as well.
Yeah.
The Wolfpack was a different breed of crazy, man. They did absolutely bonkers shit, from going to war with the GMs to putting on some actually good matches.
They were like a biker gang of WWF.
They were like a biker gang of old dudes who just walked around fucking people up.
They were like that movie Wild Hogs, but in WWE. Just old men on bikes.
Oh, and what are you gonna do? Say no to Kevin Nash as he looks down at you from 7 feet? Just get in the ring. Okay. Sorry, boss.
Whatever you say. Yeah, you're in charge. I forgot.
I guess there was one instance where they actually had the cops called on him because they pulled out a bunch of bats for a bit, but they didn't tell McMahon, so he panicked and called the cops.
That's fucking great.
I don't know if that one got aired or not. I remember hearing Kevin Nash telling an interview about it. But yeah, back in the days, they did some wild shit. We just don't have factions like that anymore who really push the envelope and unironically get themselves into a real bit of danger.
Just a little bit of legality, you know, it's fine.
You tell your boss when you're going to chase him with a baseball bat. Like, be nice about it.
All right, so then
that's all I got.
For me, I think for a tag team, I wanted to hate them so fucking badly, especially when they were heels, but then they slowly started becoming faces. I have to throw for tag team to the New Day.
They weren't good heels. I'll give you that.
Hey, yes, it is.
Because Biggie Langston, when he was trying to do his pompous accent of talking like, "You guys are uneducated." Listen, dude, you used to work for Dolph Ziggler. I'm not taking you seriously. You were Dolph Ziggler's muscle at one point. But between him, Xavier Woods, the fact that Xavier Woods is actually really witty, and I feel so bad that I forgot the last guy.
Kofi Kingston.
Kofi Kingston. I've been a fan of Kofi forever, and I just forgot his fucking name. I'm sorry, Mr. Kingston. Their chemistry is unparalleled, dude. They just get each other, especially when the chants of "New Day Rocks,
Day Rocks,
New Day Rocks,
Day Rocks, New Day Rocks."
They know how to work a crowd. They know how to talk to a crowd. Huh?
They have their trombone out there that they start playing and everything, and then they'll hit people in the match with it. It's pretty good.
When they would throw somebody in the corner, they would all three take turns tagging in, stomping for 2 seconds, tagging in, then stomping. And Xavier Woods just like, "And this is why we're the best right here. This is it exactly right. Like right now, you're seeing it on display. This is why we are the best." Running his mouth while somebody's just getting his ass kicked 3 inches behind his head.
Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do in WWE when you're on a tag team, you know? Talk that shit.
And that gave me shades of Paul Bearer when he was the manager for Kane and Undertaker. He was just sitting there running his mouth ringside while they're whooping somebody's ass.
Paul Heyman.
Yeah, they did way more than whooped ass. All right, they were killing people back then.
100%. And then putting them in the urn.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Ooh. Oh, yes. Rest in peace, Paul Bearer.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's my tag team is the New Day. But the faction, I was torn between two because technically one of them isn't WWE. Technically.
All right.
The one that's technically not WWE, and I'm encompassing all of it, the entirety of Bullet Club. I loved Bullet Club because it was AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson, Finn Balor, some New Japan Pro people, and some guys in Australia. that made this ginormous faction. Plus, the name is just cool. Bullet
Their
Club.
merch is cool as shit.
Dude. I wish it was still available because I'd cop a t-shirt right now. But for a WWE related one, it goes back to the rivalry that they actually had with DX, but I think they were called the Corporation, and it was like The Rock, Sexual Chocolate Mark Henry, and
Oh shit!
Forgot about that. I'm at
Yeah.
So
that
did
point.
I.
I'm at that
Oh
point in the
my-
pay-per-views of the Attitude Era where he's doing that shit.
Oh, it just gave me visual flashback, like vivid flashbacks.
Oh
Vivid
Jesus!
flashbacks.
Not ready for that. Why'd you flashbang us?
the Sexual Chocolate Mark Henry, just hearing that chant, Sexual Chocolate. And I'm like, oh my God, they're calling the world's strongest man Sexual Chocolate. This is something my ears are hearing. This is
He
great.
got it on with Mae Young, so who's gonna say
He
he's
did
not?
not even kill her.
I mean, you don't know that.
Then again, she is a badass. If anybody could take it, it would be her.
Like a weirdly erotic episode of Attack on Titan. I'm sorry.
Okay, I heard that one.
Especially since season 5 just got started. Goddamn, bro.
Oh, timing.
Is that
Comedy.
the spin-off series right there?
That's the fan fiction.
My Young and the boys.
Oh, it says based on true events.
No, but it's because of the corporation that I actually started getting to understand and see who The Rock is. Because I honestly didn't really know who The Rock was. So from his the nice little Versace shirt that he was wearing, the nice crisp like flat top cut, the glasses, then just shut up, bitch. What's your name? It doesn't matter what your name is. Calling everybody a candy ass. And then
Or call
Him
them
and Stone
jabronis.
Cold.
But what was I forgot? It was the skit that he did where he was wanting to talk to people about pie, and he started bringing out actual physical pies. He's like, "But this is my favorite pie," and I think he called it punani pie, just to get away with saying pussy on the air. He decided to hold up an actual cream pie and say this is the one that he wants to eat, and then he threw it, and I think it was Trish Stratus's face.
What a setup. What a bit to commit to right there.
It's The Rock. I can see it happening.
Those were weird days. Those were weird days.
Wild shit be happening. That's
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
was so fucking wild back then.
Oh yeah,
God.
that shit. But that's the shit that created some of the most iconic moments. And this is the final point I wanted to get into before we close out because we've been running for a while. One iconic match. If you could go back and watch it, either A, for the first time ever, or B, rewatch it and have it feel like the first time you're in the audience watching it. What are we seeing? Who's coming out? Who's in, what's the match? Like, what's the match type? Starting with we'll start. Brandon, do you know any of the iconic matches that you'd want to see?
Nothing.
Fucker, dude.
I'll just throw. I don't know. Undertaker's
Triple
retirement.
H versus Batista. The payback.
Did you say Undertaker in China?
It's Undertaker's retirement.
Oh, the Buried Alive match. Still a good one. Very
I don't
good
know.
one.
I just threw one out there. I have no idea what happened there or anything on it. I doesn't know that it happened. That's all.
All good. It's understandable. Then we'll cue over to you, Greeny.
man, you put me on the spot, and I have like a top 10 list of this, but we're gonna go straight to number 1 because it was the GOAT. It was the end all be all. It was the farewell to a decade, an era, a legacy, and a fucking amazing human being. Andre's farewell. Him and Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania, the last show he ever did. If I could ever see that any show, that would be the one. The dude went out knowing he didn't have a lot of time, and he put on the best show of his life, and he started a new era of sports entertainment where people were invested in new characters, knew this, knew that. He knew he couldn't do it forever, and shit, he left us with the best. And that's an artist right there. He committed to the craft and what he believed in. Fuck. That is the highlight reel from any wrestling magazine. That is in the top 10 every single time. And I wish I could have been there, but that was well before my time.
Understandable and a very, very, very good answer though. Just because, again, I said it with Rikishi. Andre the Giant was one of the staples of. I am a big man, and if I can do it, so can you. Thus gave birth to the Great Khali, and the Big Show.
Show.
Quick insider though, at that highlight moment where Hulk Hogan picks up Andre over his head and slams him and like makes history. That wasn't planned. Andre made that up on the fly, and when they were in a clinch, slam me. I can't fucking pick you up. Slam me. Okay, fine. And he picks him up and he gets him over his head. And he's like, "Holy shit, I'm doing it!" And he hears clack, 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 all the way down his spine. And he's like, "Nope, gotta let it go." And he rolls over and slams him, and they end the match. He's like, he had to get so much work done on his back later in life. He's 4 inches shorter.
Dude, I remember watching the WWE Network. I've been inclined to believe that wasn't planned because the look of shock on Hogan's face is just like, I fucking did it. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I did it.
Saw a fucking interview about him talking about that, and I'm like, damn, that one match basically would fuck up his back for the rest of his life. But it was a masterpiece, apparently.
It was a masterpiece. But that's also an era when Vince McMahon wanted all of his superstars, which he still does to this day. He wanted them to be big, muscular, and oily, so he did not mind if they were juiced out of their skulls.
Nope.
So was
Did
he.
not.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's a reason why Vince McMahon at the age of 70 still was Scott Steiner out of his fucking keyhole. But the worst were Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. Rest in peace, Ultimate Warrior. Another guy, fantastic.
Another great one to have seen, actually. Yeah.
Oh man, the speech he gave the day before he passed, brought me to tears, man.
That's what happened. They made the that warrior award that they do for the Hall of Fame, and like it gets, dude, Ultimate Warrior again, goated. I can't believe I didn't think of him, but then again, I also Eddie Guerrero, him, dude. There's so many. We're gonna do another part to this, so we're gonna move on from right now. So now down to you, Tom. What one match would you want to see for the first time, or relive as if it were the first time?
Like to see it in person?
Either see it in person or just see it in general as if it were the very first time or the very first time again. Like, what is the most iconic?
That's the word. He said iconic. So, and the very first iconic match that came to my mind when he said that, can't remember exactly which WrestleMania match it was. It was essentially a heaven versus hell match of Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels came out dressed all in white. Undertaker dressed all in black. It was supposed to be like the ultimate good guy versus bad guy moment.
Yep.
Super theatrical match the whole time. If it goes to an iconic match, that's the first one that just came to my mind. So I'll stick with that.
I remember seeing that match live on pay-per-view at my grandma's house, packed house full of people, all kinds of sodas and chips, and like we got like a 6-foot-long sandwich. None of it was touched because that whole match, everybody was just glued to the TV. Not a single word. And as soon as that 3 count was dropped, everybody screaming, man. The house was vibrating. The neighbors are pissed. Good times, man. Good times.
Cops get called.
Dude, no, we were in the country. There's no fucking cops out there.
The one thing we also give credit to when it comes to Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, there's a reason as to why he's known as Mr. WrestleMania, because especially next to Undertaker, the costumes are going to be lit and the entrance is going to be over the top every single time, and I respect it every single time. So I couldn't think of a better duo to show out and sell out a WrestleMania arena than those two.
I can think of only one.
Have that iconic ass match, but that is my choice.
I can think of one that could top that, only because the two are already involved. Undertaker versus Triple H with Shawn Michaels refereeing.
Oh yeah, I remember that match.
Shit.
Mhm.
All right.
I did that one. End of an era match.
That was the end of an era match. That is. Yep, I remember that now.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's why I miss some of those old school wrestling spots because like that shit was incredible. It was crazy.
They
So
had
is that your
chemistry.
match?
Yeah, that would be the
Okay.
match that if I could watch again just forever, it would be that one.
That's a good
Undisputed.
pick. They didn't air the part, but I believe, but there's videos from people and parts that were recorded where after that match, because of the level of effort that was put into that match, you see all three of them, Undertaker, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels, after
They
they
did
all
air
walk
that.
out of the cell, they're all just standing at the very front of the walkway, just doing kind of like a.
They're doing the last
They
thing in
were,
the crowd from the stage.
yeah, they were all like
did air
holding
that.
each other up and just like having a good moment
Well,
of sportsmanship amongst each other.
Triple
Yeah,
H
Triple
went
H
through
got
so
his
much
shit
crap during
wrecked.
that match that he actually needed help. He needed to be assisted out by Undertaker and Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
Like I think he like busted up his leg or something like that to the point where he couldn't put weight on it anymore. Like he was able to adrenaline rush through the match, but once that happened, he was done.
Even though I don't really care for Triple H as a wrestler, I can respect the fact that he is one of the best at saying, "I'm going to put everything on the line. I don't care if I'm hurt."
Oh, dude, he tore a muscle. I think it was like on his thigh mid match.
Yeah, he tore his quad.
Yeah, all the way. It rolled back up on itself. It wasn't supposed to be able to do that, according to the doctors. And he still finished out the match.
Yeah.
He was one of those like I don't stop. Like him, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels. We don't stop until the bell rings.
100%. That's why I respect those guys, and I think that's why at the end of the day they had so much respect for each other because they said whether we're supposed to like each other or not, I respect you because you're a workhorse. I'm a workhorse. He's a workhorse. Now let's do some work.
Yeah.
So I love that. And now for me, I feel the need to pick a different one since two of you had Shawn Michaels in years. So I'll at least say this one.
He's been in a lot of good matches.
I know, and my honorable mention for this one is going to be just because it does involve Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels retiring Ric Flair.
Oh my god!
You know what? That was the second match that came to my head when I was thinking about things. That was the other
one was
one.
the saddest match. I don't want to see
watched
that again.
one live. I cried.
That last
too,
Sweet Chin
yeah.
music.
Do it.
I'm sorry. I love you.
I love you.
Dude.
Right before that one. Jesus.
Dude, I bawled my eyes out for 20 minutes. My mom thought I was watching some sad rom-com. She was like, "Oh, son, what's wrong?" He kicked him in the mouth.
Well, I mean,
Could
you're
have
watching
been
He
two
knocked him
sweaty
the
guys hug
fuck
each
out.
other.
He just sweet chin music, Mr. Figure 4 leg lock.
Can we get an edit of that where it's the Doctor
That's enough
Strange
sugar,
effect?
DJ.
Knocks his soul out of his body.
No.
That'd be a great edit, actually. Hold on.
Someone out there watching this, can we get that edit, please? That'd be dope. I appreciate that.
It's possible.
But so if I get stray away from Shawn Michaels, my other most memorable, I don't even think it was WrestleMania. I think it was a Judgment Day pay-per-view. But when Rey Mysterio finally won the fucking title that he'd been chasing for God knows how long, he finally got his hands on the World Heavyweight Championship through the adversity of Vince McMahon saying, "You are not who I want to have holding my belt. You will never hold this belt." And he finally got it. I believe it was Judgment Day 2004, 2005. And he beat Randy Orton for it. And that was his way of saying, hey, again, I've said this before when it comes to other wrestlers. Just because I have a certain stature that might not look like your warrior type doesn't mean you can't be. He gave faith to a bunch of other small stature wrestlers to come in. Hence, like, not Kalisto, Callisto, Primo, Epico, Ultimo Dragon, Neville.
Yep.
Anyone
Damn.
remember Hurricane?
Oh yeah.
Hurricane!
Hurricane coming through.
Dude,
That guy fucking blew, bro.
You suck.
that's what a hurricane does. It blows.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, it was just like he paved the way for a lot of smaller stature superstars to say, "Hey, I can make it there too. I can hold a title. I can hold a belt. I can do it." And that was very motivating. That was very motivating to me because then I thought, you know what, I want to be a wrestler. Then I discovered skateboarding. But yeah, so that's my choice. I would love to go back and watch Rey Mysterio win that title again because this isn't going to happen anytime soon. Not while he's beefing with his son for some reason.
So, little insider info. Apparently, it's said that Rey Mysterio wants his last match to be with his son. He wants his son to retire him at WrestleMania. So allegedly, this WrestleMania will be, because Rey Mysterio is also going into the Hall of Fame this year, will probably be his last match.
The only downside to that is because your son at this current time is a
Sucks
fucking
at
heel.
everything he does.
Well, besides that, but if Dominic retires Dad while he is a heel and Dad is a super face, this solidifies and seals him forever as a heel. There is no coming back and being a good guy after you retired your dad.
Nobody likes him anyways.
Yeah, DJ, he could change his entire persona
Okay,
tomorrow.
his
Nobody would give a
current-
shit.
His current nickname in WWE, because there was a bit where he got arrested on Christmas Day at Rey Mysterio's house. He went to he got arrested for like 12 hours. So now he refers to himself as ex-con Dom.
I think you should make DJ throw
Oh,
up.
you just heard him.
And the rest of the Judgment Day gives into the. They're like, he spent one night in there. He's hard now, and everybody backs him up, even though he's you're gonna get me heated in the
He'd
podcast.
actually lose a street fight to Dominic Toretto.
God damn it! I'm gonna lose my shit in a second.
I'm fucking
I'm gonna
mad.
meet really quick.
And he's gone.
I think we need to give him a minute.
You know, the worst part is I have his phone number. I'm gonna call him.
Buggy, should we call him?
I am calling him. What's this wee shit?
Trust me, that I couldn't take him seriously when I found out that he was Rhea Ripley's lackey. And the first thing that I thought when I saw Rhea Ripley is she looks like Chris Motionless is trying to be a stand-in for Nicolas Cage.
She's an angel. How dare you?
Sure.
Where is Captain Dipshit? Oh, there he is.
Probably
But,
taking
you know,
fat hit.
He tried to follow in his father's footsteps. He's still currently doing it. But
He denied my call.
All right, hold up.
come on, is that we have to end it without him, and that's perfectly fine.
No, we're good.
There we go.
Just here.
We're good. Don't worry, we're good. I've calmed myself down. I'm good.
He has dabbed.
Taking,
Yes.
yes.
Look,
haters.
I have various. I have whiskey. It's good stuff. All right, I'm fine.
Fair enough. Oh, I got sake.
Bunch of drunks.
Uh-oh.
No, but
Alcoholics.
so this,
Excuse me.
and again, there's definitely gonna. I'm letting y'all.
there.
Let me switch fucking cameras real quick. I'm letting y'all know right now there's going to be another part of this because there's still so much to unpack when it comes to the realm of WWE because it's had such a long, illustrious career. There's been so many iconic wrestlers that we didn't get a chance to talk about. There's
really
been so many iconic heels that we didn't get a chance to talk about. We didn't even talk about Edge having sex with Lita on air.
Nope.
I really don't think we talked about anything past 2005.
So that's why we have still so much more to unpack. So get ready for a second episode of this. And so when I say get ready for a second episode, that means we're nearing the end of this episode, which means it's outro time. We made it. We did it. Off the top ropes to the count below. And the next thing you know, you'll be on the flow. More of Rey Mysterio's original intro music for you old heads. We have made it to the end of this episode of the No Skill Podcast. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. You made it all the way over here. Let me know down below. Let the fellas know because we're interested. What wrestlers did you look up to? What wrestlers did you hate? What female athlete do you think is the hottest? Which one do you think is the toughest? What was your favorite match and why is it bra and panties? I want to know. Let me know down below. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go around the circle and we're going to have everybody say goodbye. We're going to start down here with Brandon. Let's crack and say bye to the folks.
This is definitely an interesting episode. Maybe we'll see. Maybe if for the next part I'll brush up a little more knowledge, but other than that, yeah, I was kind of just here.
That's why I want you recording in case you didn't want to be. But then again, I also was having internet problems, and thankfully I managed to make it all the way over here.
Hey, if we can get the other guests
still
that
time.
we might bring on next time, maybe it will be just you.
Marlon McBrando, I'm here about it. All right. And then down here, Mean Green Tag Team Machine.
Well, good night, everyone. I hope you all enjoy yourselves, enjoyed the show, and in the true spirit of sports entertainment, you never know what's coming next. So next episode might be an interesting one.
I love how his head actually turned when you punched him.
We're coordinated. We got that synergy.
It's good.
And then next to him, our special guest, Mando. Thank you very much so for coming on, my friend. Known you forever. They've known you longer, but thank you very much for taking time out of your day to come and hang out with us and talk about degenerate shit. Please tell the folks at home goodbye.
Thank you for having me, everybody. And odds are I may have said some inaccurate shit. Feel free to correct it or don't.
Just don't. Let us live in this realm. All right. And then next to him is Fraja.
This was a lot of fun. God, you guys made me recall memories I have not they were buried deep.
Almost traumatically deep, huh?
More memories
Just
unlocked.
Yeah, I unlocked characters. But this was a lot of fun. I can't wait to do this again.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's going to be dope, and I look forward to it. Closing notes, closing statements from me. This is something that I grew up on. I've fallen off of it, come back to it, fallen off again, come back to it. I always fall off of it, but for some reason, I always find a way to come back. And especially with this new era of wrestling and some of the things that Mando has educated me on, i.e. the Street Profits, I might have to give them a looky look. I might have to give them checking it out. And again, I recommend that you guys check out some WWE too. The other thing I recommend is that down below, there's some buttons in the comment section, and I recommend that you do whatever you want to with them. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we've been the NoSkill Boys, and we will see you in the next one.